Guys, deluded. Thank you very much for tuning back in. It's YouTube's Lucas Torreira. Like I said, thank you very much for tuning back in. It means the world. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have seen Jamievardy's, and it was not really an announcement. It did kind of go under the radar, if you can say that in today's day and age of football news. He's more again. He hasn't officially, to my knowledge, announced his retirement from football, but from international football. Sorry, but he's more or less calling it a day, and is only prepared to play in exceptional circumstances. And it got me thinking. Firstly, it got me thinking if he was a different sort of player that plays for England, the narratives that would have been thrown around that he's putting England second choice and things like that, not saying he is, would have been a bit different. I'm sure a lot of you IC3s will be able to clock on to what I'm getting at with that one. But moving on, it gave me a tough thought. I mean, it gave me a tough sort of stance of where I would stand on this. Should you put your club before country or country before club, or when should you call it a day? And I don't feel there's a straightforward answer, purely because, yeah, you could say Jamie Vardy shouldn't do that. You should always put your country first and things like that. I'm not saying he's putting it second, because he actually isn't. But you have to sympathise with him. He's 31, 32. He's just signed not too long ago, a few months back or whenever, or just over a year ago. He recently signed a new deal. I use that word loosely. Recently signed a new deal at Leicester. So he's got a good contract, and it's in his best interest to stay fully fit and things like that, or he might find himself sold. He's at the age in his career where probably his last big move, probably his last big contract, if it was going to come apart on top of Leicester. So I understand it, and the more games you play, the harder it is on your body and things like that. So I get it. Then you've got Company. I don't think Company's retired from international football, but if I put myself in Company's shoes, I mean, you play good for City, but you look like you're getting past it. Realistically, how many games could you play in a year? And if so, would you not be cutting short your playing time for your club at club level in terms of how much you can give at a certain level in terms of fitness? I'm not too sure what it would happen. Then you've got the likes of Rooney, who I'm sure Rooney never wanted to call it a day, but I mean, he was once that 16-year-old wonder kid doing his thing for club and country. He probably saw that time catches up to everyone. He found himself at a crossroad that he's probably holding people back. Obviously, you got David Beckham, who always available for your country and things like that. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult position. I don't feel you can. Well, you can just say yes or no, regardless of the circumstances. It's a difficult one. My personal stance, I'd probably make myself available for the country at all times. I probably wouldn't call it a day, but to a degree, I wouldn't personally want to be, them footballers that are 34, they're still hoping aimlessly to get called up by their country. I mean, I would love to be at that age and still get called up, but you need to be realistic if you're going to feature in the plans, to which I'd actually call it a day. And I mean, I started thinking of a mad hard scenario. I mean, this is a very rare scenario, people, but then I thought about it. Let's just say, go back a year or so ago. Let's go back a year ago or so. Say I'm playing for Manchester City. Just say Manchester City didn't walk the league and it's neck and neck going into May and stuff. And let's just say the club, the public might not know about it, but I know, and the club staff know, and everybody knows that I have an injury. This injury could easily subside if I come off the pitch and just relax myself for a few weeks. But I want to play, and I want to play a main part of this season, and I have a risk of every time I play, the risk of this injury increases. And let's just say, to make it interesting, we're in May. That World Cup is in June. I put my World Cup at risk by playing every week. Let's just say I keep playing. Let's just say we do this thing. If I put myself in this very example, people, I'm gonna pick my club time and time again, because I believe you have to respect your club first and foremost. The country is different, but I'm saying specific to this example, your club is your club. You focus on this season, then you focus on the World Cup. The World Cup happens when the season ends. So why that logic, you do this thing, and I would put my body on the line. I would be thinking about the World Cup if it was me, but I can't be them. I couldn't be them players that you can tell last couple of games into the season they don't really want to give their all because they don't want to get injured. I get it, but I couldn't do it personally, people. So I would probably run the risk of injury and probably missing the World Cup, in my opinion. So if it was that specific example, I'd put the club first. But for me, I guess playing for England, there'll be no greater honour. There's no representing your country, whether it's your diaspora nation or country of your heritage. I mean, if I played for Jamaica, Barbados, or England, I'd be equally as proud. If I would be very proud, and I wouldn't really want to call it a day. And I would play even if I'm 15% fit, let alone 100% fit. So it's a tough decision, and it is difficult in today's day and age where players are playing ridiculous amounts to the point where I think preseason is actually overrated. Yes, you need fitness, but look how many games these guys are playing in a calendar year. Look how many fixtures they're playing for their club, for their country. Then they're coming back and playing preseason. I think preseason is more become for rest and tactics more than it is physical now. So with that being said, players are playing more games. I do think a lot of players sadly are going to have a lot of health problems because players are playing more games for one. There's all different sorts of treatment to help you recover from injuries at rapid time rates, probably that they're not being advised is best for them, or doctors are not helping them in that regards. And can you blame the players? They just want to be fit. I mean, people are getting injuries from Manchester City. They're going to Barcelona, and the times are getting cut from 6 months out to 2 months. Surely there's something wrong with that. All of these quick fixes and all of these injuries are gonna play a part on someone like. So I don't knock Vardy in regards to that, because there's always the increased risk of injury the more games he's playing, and if he does get injured at this age, not saying he can't recover quickly, but it's a bigger arc, it's a tougher arc on your body, it's a tougher arc for a 31-year-old than it is going to be at 19 years of age. Look how long it took Guendouzi to become tired. Like, he had to get subbed in the last game, but that youthful exuberance helps you. As you get older, you probably need to understand your body a bit more. So I believe everybody's case is clearly individual. If it was me, I guess regardless, I wouldn't retire from international football. But I'd probably, in the example I gave you, put my club first. It's a tough decision, and I'm not making any sense, am I? I'd make myself available, but I can't lie to you people. I wouldn't want to be them guys that are 33, 34. They realistically, you know, the time's past you and you're still aimlessly trying. I mean, not because I would want to give up, but it's like, it's a bit leave it now. The chapter's closed, sort of thing. So I'd still play for my country, but I can't knock anybody that's chosen to call it a day, like Vardy appears to have. God knows how much injury problems a lot of players, broadly speaking, are gonna have when they get older, both major and minor, because it's ridiculous. And I'm completely going off topic with that one, but yeah, man, guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching.